Hey, thanks for joining my channel, The Eclectic Life. Today, we're gonna be given kind of an overview slash review for this Nesco vacuum sealer, aka Food Saver. So, Food Saver, I guess, is the original brand, and I decided to go with this one because it's a little bit cheaper and has all the features I want, and also it had pretty decent reviews. I think it was like 4.5 stars. And me personally, I've sealed about between 15 and 20 pounds of meat, a kind of a combination of chicken breast and red meat, and I've had no issues with it. So we're just kind of going to go over the procedure in case you've never operated one before, or maybe in case you're thinking about getting this one. This one is the exact model number is the the VS09. So that is the Nesco. I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it. Nesco VS09. I think they make one or two models above this, and I think the one above this has like a scale that sits right here on top for weighing the food. But I kind of like using my own scale right here. Let me back this up a little bit. So yeah, we're gonna get busy. We're doing the rest of the chicken breasts right over here. I've already done quite a few of them over there. And as you can see, they seal up really nice. There it is right there. Always put the date, how much it weighs, what the ingredients is, and where I got it at. Oh yeah, there's those right there. Look at a couple of them. So yeah, I love this thing. Maybe a little too excited about it, to be honest with you. My girlfriend was a little weirded out how excited I was to get it. So what we have here is you have the roll. This particular roll I think was 20 feet long, and typical width is going to be about 11 and a half inches. I think this one will accommodate up to 11 inches. And so it's just a open-ended roll, so there's no seals in it yet. And so what you do is you get your roll, and you're going to seal one end of it because you're basically going to want to make a bag. And with this particular one, you've got your little canister or vacuum area right here. So I always like to put a little, make it touch the bottom of the cavity. There's a little cavity down inside of here. Kind of just make it roll over. Make sure there's no wrinkles in it. Although I have seen it seal over wrinkles. Just preferred not to have any wrinkles. And so you're gonna shut it down, lock it, the light comes on, and you're gonna hit the seal button, and you can see the progress lights on there lighting up in the back. And this is my personal preference. It doesn't say anything about doing this in the owner's manual, but what I like to do is I like to put 2 seals on it. So I figure, what's better than 1 good seal? 2 good seals, right? So I roll it out just a little bit and then lock it back down. Usually what I do is I roll it out to where that first seal is just right outside here, all the way across. And make sure the handle locks down. Hit the seal button again. figure if one seal is gonna lock everything in, then two seals has got to be twice as good, right? And you're not using up any more resources really, other than maybe a little electricity. And so then I'm gonna leave it clamped down, and I'll show you why here in a minute. We've got the scale on. Put the chicken breast on there. We are at 9.6 ounces. I'll wash my hands off just so I'm not getting chicken juice all over the place, you know what I'm saying? Chicken juice all over the place. So the reason why I leave it clamped is so you can kind of judge how big the chicken breast is going to be next to it, because you don't want to cut it too small. You're not going to be able to use it. You're going to have to either save it for something smaller later, like maybe some a dessert or some kind of chips or a snack or something that you want to seal up. And by the way, this comes inside of it. It sits right down inside here. I'll show you in a minute. It's the bag cutter. So you leave it clamped. I do. So it's kind of like a second helping hand. And just kind of judge how big it is. Remember, the first seal is right here. Make sure you pull it tight on that edge when you first get it started. And once it gets started cutting, it's obviously very sharp. And so it's going to seal up pretty good. And I'm going to put it in here. One thing I've noticed with this thing is because it comes in a roll, you're going to notice that the bag wants to roll a certain way. So if you put the bag in here and it wants to try to fight you and come back the other way, flip it over and it's going to want to roll and sit down in that crevice the way it needs to be. Just kind of pull it tight. And you see it's pretty smooth. And so we're going to clamp it down. And we're going to hit the button in the middle, which is the auto vac, and it'll automatically kick the seal on once it gets enough vacuum. So here we go. I like it because it has that progress light, lets you know what's going on. Speaking of the progress light, so the reason why I really like that is because one time I did put a bag in there, and I guess it wasn't far enough back in there, and so the progress light just kind of stopped at number 2 or 3, and just kept running and running. Had to unlock it and kind of set the bag up in there more, make sure it was in that gasket area better, and it worked like a charm. So just a little side note. And so like I said, I like to, as you can see, you get the seal nice and neat right there. I like to have 2 seals on it. I just think it makes sense to have 2 seals. So once again, you're just going to kind of line it up roughly. It doesn't have to be perfect. Hit that seal button again. And the 2 seal things, that's just me. That's me because I'm obsessive like that. It just makes sense to me, and I figured why not. So all done. And I just like to go ahead and right on in there like Butcher in Ball Ground, Georgia. Alright, so we're good to go. There it is, all sealed up. Isn't that nice? We're gonna do one more for you guys. Mainly because we only had one more. Just kind of eyeball it, but make sure it's curved over. And it goes, let me get you a little bit closer. Just make sure it goes down inside that little gasket area. This is the gasket area right here. And that is what's giving you the vacuum, the ability to have that vacuum. So you just want to make sure you're down in there far enough. Second seal. Leave it hooked. Just gonna kind of eyeball it. This one's not. And I saw on some of the reviews online, people were complaining about this, like it don't work, and I have a feeling it was operator error, if you know what I mean. So just pull this one nice and tight. That's why you're leaving it clamped in there. This is your little helper. Pull it nice and tight. Once it gets started cutting, it's like butter. It goes right through it. This video right here. Yeah, I'm going to show you guys about what I was talking about with it rolling. See how it just doesn't want to go down in there. I mean, you could still figure something out like that right there, but it's going to want to pop out. So, also, a little side note, I like to kind of toss it and make sure it sits in on the very bottom. And I'm just going to pull it tight. Clamp it down on there. Hit the beautiful. That's freaking beautiful. You heard the air that loose up in there. So I'm gonna do that favorite second seal of mine. Once again, you don't have to do that second seal. It's just a personal preference of mine. But I would recommend it just because you never know. Alright. There you go. There's the last one. I'm gonna walk over here. Just gonna put these in the freezer. Actually, we're gonna put these in the freezer real quick. Give you guys a little peek. All that meat down there, all this red meat is vacuum sealed with that machine. I just went a little crazy that first night, you know. You know how it is. It's like Christmas when you get your presents. We'll go over some of the features of this machine here momentarily. Alright, so like I said, this is the Nesco BS09 model. And just to go over some of the things. So when you first plug it in, this light's going to come on right here. And it says, so it says dry on there and moist. So it has a dry and wet setting or moist setting. And obviously we're doing more of a kind of a dry food, even though, I mean, it does have moisture in it, but it works just fine. And if you have something that's liquid, has a lot of liquid in it, you're going to put it on the moist. And then you have the seal button right here, which obviously is self-explanatory. It puts that airtight seal across it that we talked about. And then you have the auto vac button with the cancel option in case something, you know, just goes awry in the middle of your vacuuming. And when you hit the auto button, it's going to, once it gets to the 1, 2, 3, 4th light, it's going to kick the seal on automatically. And then you have the pulse button. So once you put a seal on something and you're going going to seal the other side, but you just want to, maybe you don't want all the air taken out of it, you just want a certain portion of air taken out of it. You can hit the pulse button. Here we go. Just like that. And hold it. You can hold it down for as long as you like until you get to the vacuum that you please. And then the canister is an optional accessory with, I don't know if you can see it, yeah, that little hole right there, a little thing plugs in there, and it's for obviously what it says, a canister. You've got like the little Rubbermaid looking containers with the lid with the vacuum port on top of it. And so one end plugs into this and the other end is a circle, and that circle goes on the canister. And you can do it for a number of things to actually preserve the food. And you can also, let's say you want to get one of the rectangle shaped containers, and you can hyper marinade your steaks in it. So basically what you're doing is putting the steak inside the container, and then you're going to put your marinades in there and then slather it on the piece of meat, whether it be chicken or steak, any kind of meat or anything that you wish to marinate. If you want to marinate some vegetables, I guess that'd work too. And so then you're gonna hit the canister button. It works very similar to the pulse button. And when you suck all the pressure out, it puts pressure on the steak, and it forces the marinade inside the actual fibers of whatever you're trying to marinate. So just a little tidbit, that's what I'm getting it for. So that concludes our walkthrough of the Nesco VS09. That's a Victor Sam 09 vacuum sealer. And so I told you I was going to show you this real quick. So you get the bag cutter with a little razor blade right there, and it goes just right there in that little spot right there. Nice little handy spot for it. How do you like that? And there's some kind of film on this right here, and it says, "Do not pull this film off of here." For some reason, I guess it's some kind of Teflon. It protects the Teflon, or it is Teflon, I'm not sure. And then this gasket up here, and this gasket. It says that you are not supposed to lock the handle down when you're storing it. So when you're not using it, do not lock it down, because apparently if you leave it locked like that for an extended amount of time, it will deform these gaskets and make them kind of a weird shape, kind of flatten them out, basically prematurely wearing them out. So just a little side note, just wanted to make sure that everybody knew about that. And so what I do is leave it up and I just unplug it. Unplug it and leave it right there. So yeah, thanks for watching my channel, The Eclectic Life. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. I mean, heck, if you didn't like the video, hit the thumbs up, right? Anyways, if you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to gain some more traction on YouTube. And if you hit the thumbs up button, it helps the YouTube algorithm let them know that we're not making just garbage videos. They're actually doing something over here. Thank you very much. The Eclectic Life.